Ooh, welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 334. Xander Cannon's Kaijumax, season 1. My name is Eric.
I am Jason.
What's up, my Liza?
I'm doing alright?
Yeah. Good day.
Kaijumax.
It only goes downhill from here.
Yeah, once the Melvins stop playing, it's usually just terrible.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we are, fully entrenched in our new format of only reading comics.
Yeah.
And we both read this comic.
We read Kaijumax.
Yeah, we did.
By Xander Cannon.
At least I hope we both did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Why wouldn't I? This is...
There is precedent.
One time, like 4 years ago, I didn't read the comic because it was fucking terrible. I've read every one since then.
I feel like there was another one that
I mean, there's been some other terrible ones.
oh, sure.
That's the only one I didn't read all of. It was Evil Ernie. Which one was it? It wasn't.
Who
I know.
cares?
It was just. It was like the 40th Evil Ernie miniseries, and this guy at my work, nice enough fella, but he's like, hey, he's like, you should really read this. He's like, this is great. He's like, if you liked Evil Ernie, like in the early 90s, which I did, I bought those issues when they came out. I was a kid.
We were dumb.
I like Stephen Hughes art. He's good
was
art.
good.
And he's like, no, but seriously, this one is really good. And it was absolutely one of the worst things I've ever read.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't finish it. Yeah. Well, I read the entire first issue. But yeah, I've never done that again. I will suffer with you.
Alright.
Though I didn't have to suffer this time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah. It was very good.
It was incredibly good. Kaijumax. So it's basically, it's a prison comic, but with giant monsters.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, basically think of like, Oz or something.
Right. Orange is the New Black.
Orange is the New Black with like Godzilla and Mecha-Godzilla.
Yep.
Yeah, it's and like that I think is maybe the strongest thing about this is that it's not just an amazing like mashup concept t-shirt design. Like that could have been just a t-shirt.
Right, yeah.
But he was like, I want to take it further, and sometimes when that happens you're like, it should have just been a t-shirt, but not this time.
No, he had an actual story happening.
Oh yeah.
And characters and developments.
Oh yeah. A lot of like depth to a lot of these characters.
Yeah. I will go ahead right off the bat and say probably the one thing that turned me off the most on this book. Let's get the negative aspect out of the way.
Okay.
And I don't even know that it's a negative, but there are a lot of references
Yeah.
that completely went over my head.
Yeah. Right.
Like just, references to old monster movies and different monsters and probably even some prison tropes.
Right.
But mostly the monster stuff.
I mean, there's a few that are obviously recognizable. I'm sure even to you, like he says something about the 5 robot lions and things like that us nerds get. But yeah, there were some that I was like, that must be like a deep pull there,
And it's like a lot of the characters. I mean, you can kind of see what they're at least loosely based on,
right?
But then there's like secondary and tertiary characters where you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's something.
Yeah.
But you just don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen enough monster movies in my life. Like, I'm sure I've seen more than your average Joe, but I'm not like a steeped, like, Gojophile or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. like I've never subscribed to G-Fan magazine or got a Mothra tattoo or anything, but that you know of. But yeah, there's some references. There was actually one I looked up because like after like 4 of those in a row in the same like issue,
right.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna look one of these up, and I like just Googled the word, and there was absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like there was no reference to it at all, so I don't know if it was even maybe like a play on another word.
Right.
But it was like, I forget what it was even. It was just something one of the guards called one of the monsters.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm gonna at least Google this one. And there was absolutely nothing on the internet about it, so. He might have made some of them up.
I'm sure he made some of them up for sure, and you know, like all of them have, you know, made up names, or at least names that he created himself, but like, you know, there's still certain aspects where you're like, well, that's something.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like that's something, you know. And some of them are pretty obvious, like, you know, there's Ape Whale and his son, Woofy.
Yeah.
It's clearly, you know, Godzilla and Godzuki.
Right.
Or whatever his actual name is, which I just found out the other day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like Minji or something like
Minji.
that. I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, because that guy's like he's kind of like the prison boss, like kind of
Yeah.
like the kingpin there.
Yeah. So basically there's all these monsters, and they're in this prison, and like any prison, they've all, like, been sectioned off into their own gangs and their own, you know,
like all the aliens kind of mingled together, and then like, you know, all the like
the robot monsters.
Right. They've started their own religion. The robot, the cloud.
Yeah.
I fucking love. I want to be a robot monster and go to prison just so I can hang out with those robot monsters. They're my favorite.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, you know, like you're watching a regular prison thing, and you've got, you know, like your Aryans and, like, you know, your Hispanics and whatever, your Bloods and your Crips, but, you know, they're just different varieties of monsters.
Right. Yeah.
Like they have the Crips.
Yeah.
Which are, you know, the cryptozoological animals.
Right. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't take much sometimes to hit the bullseye.
But all the wardens, they're just normal people who can also transform into giant, sort of Ultraman superhero types.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they're just humans, or squishers, as the monsters call them. And they have the technology to like transform into like a monster sized, or even bigger. The wardens are even bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do they call them? There's a name for them. They call them, is it J-Pops or something? No, that was, they called them something. The monsters had a name for them.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
But yeah. Yeah, so basically it's like a warden and 4 or 5 guards or doctors.
At least 4 that are, you know,
named, yeah.
And given, you know, some airtime,
right,
so to speak. And, you know.
One of which is very interesting because he's kind of corrupt, and he likes to sell.
Gupta.
Yeah, Gupta. And he sells them, like, they get high on, like
electricity,
and, uranium.
Uranium.
Yeah, anything like powerful that you see them smashing in the normal movies, you know.
Right.
I guess they're actually getting high off of that electricity and those chemicals and minerals, and that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
He brings them like box cars full of uranium.
Yep. Or occasionally virgins.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we
they eat them, by the way. They just
exactly.
swallow them whole.
But yeah, there's just a lot of weird stuff happening, and it's all kind of awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And, like, honestly, like, you came over, this is my copy, I lent it to you after I read it, and you brought it back, obviously, because it's mine.
That's usually what I do.
But, you know, we usually, do, like, a quick flip through before the show starts, just, like, whoever
hasn't had it
first.
right. Yeah.
And, so I'm flipping through it, and like, just in the 5-10 minutes that I spent flipping through it, I caught so much shit that I totally missed on the first read.
It's packed full.
Yeah.
Like, it's not quite like Evan Dorkin pages where you need a magnifying glass to read everything, but yeah, there's a lot going on in the background. There's a lot of panels on pages. It's not just like 3-panel pages.
Right.
Sometimes there's like 8 or 10 panels, and yeah, there's a lot going on.
But even like stuff that probably should have been obvious to me in the get-go, like in the first 2 pages, there's a xenomorph.
Yeah, I remember him.
And like I totally missed that the first time through.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, how did I miss that?
Well, he's like looking dead at you.
Yeah.
So it's not like you see him from profile, which, you know, has elongated head and everything.
Right.
But yeah.
But it's clearly the xenomorph.
Right. Yeah. But you can tell Xander Cannon's, he understands what makes storytelling work. I mean, but he also obviously understands, you know, like prison shows and monster movies, and knows exactly how to meld them.
Right. And make it funny.
Yeah.
Because this book is laugh out loud hilarious sometimes.
But it's also fucking dark in places.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, like, your main character...
Because it's a prison story with monsters.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you're like, that sounds like a riot, and it could be.
Right.
But no, it gets dark. I mean, Electrogor, is his name?
Electrogor, yeah.
Yeah, he's your guy.
I would say our primary main character.
Like, yeah, the story unfolds with, it opens with him being, taken in, yeah.
And yeah, we follow him, I would say, through a good 40-50% of the story, whereas everything else is broken up amongst the other characters. So he's definitely our way in through the story. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, but he's like he goes through some shit that is so dark. Like, I almost cried at one point, and I'm like, I'm about to cry reading a comic about a fucking monster in prison.
Well, you're very sensitive.
I am very sensitive, yeah. I'm fragile. Yeah. I am a fragile creature. Love me.
We do. No, yeah, there's definitely some horrific stuff that happens to him throughout. And yeah, he is definitely the character that I think you care about the most throughout the entire thing. Him and one of the prison guards, I think, are like the 2 most sympathetic characters.
Oh, yeah.
Zhang, I believe is his name, who also has, like, a pretty massive breakdown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he kind of goes, like, there's, like, one instance in the, sort of the middle of the book where you're like, oh, you know, he's, like, got some tension built up there, and then, like an issue or 2 later, it's, like, unleashed, you know? But there's some really good characters in this book.
Yeah. And, I like Gupta a lot, too, the corrupt guard.
Yeah, he's, like, your only, I think, well, he's one of the few times you get, the story outside of the prison penitentiary, like, because he
travels to the moon.
Yeah, he goes to, you know, pick up drugs to sell.
Yeah. But yeah, he's in debt to the Queen of the Moon, who is also the mother of one of the inmates.
Yeah.
Who he is also supposed to be, like, keeping a special lookout for.
Right.
So keeping an eye on making sure he doesn't die or get into trouble.
And he might not, spoiler,
foreshadowing.
do so well at his job, yeah. His one task.
But yeah, like, they showed, like, different aspects of, like, the prison, and, like within, like, the first, like, 2 pages or so, there's a hilarious scene where you see, like, a building being knocked over.
Yes, I was thinking, it's like a close-up and you see this monster knocking a building over, and then...
Turns out it's just a weight machine.
Yeah, like the building falls over, and in the next panel you see the building, like, erect again in front of him. And you're like, he's knocking that same building over again, and then it pulls back, and it's like a weight machine that looks like a building that they get to smash over and over. It's hilarious. Oh, it's so good. And there's stuff like that all through it. Like, there's little, like, you know, not like nods or Easter eggs, because it's nothing you have to, like, research or be a nerd to know.
Sight gags.
Yeah, like, just fun references to monster movies.
Yeah, I mean, the plot pretty much focuses on Electrogor and his plight. He's got a family outside of prison that does not know that he's been imprisoned, and he doesn't know what's happened to them.
Yeah.
And so he's pretty much just trying to make sure that his family is okay throughout the whole thing. And then just circumstances fuck him over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a good fella. Like
For the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a giant monster that spews some sort of acid and grows uranium on his back.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Aren't we all in some metaphorical way?
Exactly.
He's just trying to get by.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm looking at the cast of characters on the cover. There's so many good characters.
I was, before the show started and I was flipping through it, I was thinking to myself that, man, there really needs to be like almost a hand guide to this book.
Uh-huh.
To, like a Marvel Universe handbook, but with all the monsters and, even some of the wardens.
Yeah, exactly. No, like, there's once or twice, like, during the thing, like, when some of the guards, became their Ultraman style.
Right.
Like,
couldn't remember.
Which costume related to which guy, and I was like, that would be cool if there was like a little 2-page spread at the back that showed everybody's names and like just kind of who they were, basically, like a little synopsis of their character.
But I kept losing track mostly of the monsters. But I also noticed, like, seriously, right before the show started here today, that on the cover, there is it's very small, but there is a guide at the bottom of the cover.
Right.
That has the different monsters and their names.
It's
all the ones on the cover.
It's a little circle with the character. It's just like on the box art for the Godzilla movies.
Okay.
They always put those to show you which all characters are in there.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's another little reference. Yeah. Huh. Like, you'll see, like, oh, there's Mecha-Zon and Gamera in the same film. Awesome. Right. Yeah, it's really great. And I love the stuff with Ape Whale and his son, Woofy, is that his name? Yeah. Because Woofy sees this child that tells him to do things, like a little human child.
Yep.
And you don't really know if that child is really there. Like, probably not.
I'm guessing not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most likely not.
Right.
I mean, it could be like the kid of one of the guards or something.
Could be, maybe it's a magical sort of, kid that only Woofy can see.
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
Because Woofy is, like, kind of dumb and, he's pretty flawed.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be the heir to Godzilla's throne.
He is Godzuki.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen any Godzilla movies with Godzuki in it,
you know what that is.
Yes.
Yeah. But he's maybe even more incompetent somehow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But also, that whole thing, Woofy and the little boy and his dad leads to probably the one scene in the book that I laughed the loudest at. And I'm not going to spoil it.
Right.
But it also involves one of the guards.
Yeah.
As well.
He's like, fuck this. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's some great scenes. Like one of the guards, or she's a doctor, Zhang, is that her name? Or something? Yeah. She since she was a child, like, she watched her town be destroyed by a monster, and she felt this kinship, like, if only, we could help these monsters, and so she kind of, like, has, like, a soft spot in her heart, and perhaps even her loins, for the world of monsters.
Yeah.
And it gets kind of weird later on.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Oh, it's fun and sexy. Oh, man. But my favorite part is when she actually has to do, like, surgery on one of the monsters, and she goes inside of him, and she's, like, tying arteries together. And,
she shrinks down to her normal
human size, right. And it's so, I don't know, it's so, like, kind of gothic.
Yeah.
Like, gothic romance, because she's, like, covered in the blood of this creature she loves, and she's inside of him, and it's so weird.
Not exactly that, but speaking to that, I also enjoy the fact that, like, like, all of their tools that they use, like surgical tools, or just, like, you know, like normal stuff, like, that, you know, you would use on prisoners, you know, to just, you know, help them or keep them in line or whatever. You know, like, instead of handcuffs, it's like, you know, like something, you know, giant.
Right.
Or like the surgical tools when she is performing surgery on one of the monsters, it's like a giant crane.
Right.
She's using.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have solitary confinement, which is a literal hole.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, because this island is just full of craters and holes. And
Yep. Yeah, it's just a big island.
So instead of cells, it's a crater.
Yep.
And they have little force field bubbles that go over the top so you can't escape.
And then their showers are just a waterfall.
Right? Yeah.
There's also apparently a living volcano on the island that is also a prisoner.
It's like sentient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who talks to one of the characters that we, you know, don't really get to know him that well.
No,
but he's throughout the book.
Mm-hmm.
One of the crypts, the devil of Legend Creek or something like that.
He's like this little goat monster.
Yeah, and he looks adorable.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's kind of, you know, a sympathetic character at the beginning too, because he seems like he's kind of scared and unsure of his surroundings.
I think it is the creature from Devil's Canyon or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, he's just you don't really. He does not seem like much of a threat, despite the fact that he is a giant goat.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of adorable. He's kind of like a Pokemon, you know, like a giant goat Pokemon.
There's a lot of them are kind of cute in a way too.
Well, yeah,
that's just the way I think Xander Cannon draws.
Yeah, I don't think I would care that much for this book if it was drawn in a like really serious stylistic way. Like it's drawn cartoony, but uber detailed.
Oh yeah,
and there's a ton of there's not like, you know, there's a lot going on line wise, but it's super cartoony and exaggerated. And I love it. Like I think it's perfect match for the story.
Well, I think it helps because I mean, with the style that he's using, like it allows him to give these monsters, you know, facial expressions and you know, the ability to emote.
Right.
Whereas, you know, if it was like just pulling the name out of the hat, like Greg Land or something like that,
right?
You know, it'd all be like, this is exactly what this monster would look like.
Yeah.
And, you know, monsters can't make faces.
Right? Yeah. Or even somebody like actually good, but but you know, like Bill Sienkiewicz or something, like that would look amazing as a poster, but it wouldn't really emote the same like, you know, cartoony storytelling.
Yeah, because like I said, you know, when you get to all the stuff that happens to Electrogor throughout the series, just like his facial expressions and how they read, like really pay off, you know, just what hell he's going through in his prison.
Yeah, there's one picture I'm imagining that's like later on in the book where he is like, it's like a close up of his eye and it's all like bloodshot, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like on the edge of my seat. But like 2 pages ago I was laughing at like, this King Kong who was smoking weed and rapping about killing humans. Yeah, like,
was that your favorite character?
He was great. No, the Mecha-Godzilla is my favorite character. Seriously, it was mostly the scene where he's challenged by the other monster, and you see like his point of view. I fell in love with that character at that point when you see Mecha-Godzilla's point of view, because it was like the Terminator kind of vision, where you know, like it shows like all of his options, and you know you can see the words on the side of the screen. I just loved that. I thought that was great.
I enjoyed his father and sister.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I guess his sister is, you know, going to be the one in the second series that's chasing down the monsters.
Yep.
Like,
because this book ends on a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's season 1, so you know they got to.
But no, Mecha-Zon's creator comes to visit him in prison, and who's basically disappointed in him. because he did not do what he was built for,
Right,
which was to kill Zon, the monster.
Right.
And now Mecha-Zon has renounced violence.
Yeah. He's a peaceful creature.
Yeah. And yeah, his sister is like a new upgraded robot, she has joined the, whatever military.
Great or
Team Great.
Team Great or something.
There's two different teams that they mentioned. I forget
Yeah.
what the other one is.
Heroism or something.
Yeah.
I forget.
But yeah, one of them runs the prison and the other one is, I guess,
They're rivals.
sort of rivals. I guess they track down the monster.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. But the sister has joined one of those teams, and yeah, apparently in season 2 she is tracking down some escapees.
Right.
Spoilers.
Mm-hmm. I am betting too in the second series that I forget his name. That the Mecha-Godzilla. I just call him Mecha-Godzilla.
Mecha-Zon.
Mecha-Zon. I bet he's gonna like renounce his peaceful ways. At some point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, every character in this book is just, like, one bad day away from snapping.
Yeah, right?
And we see that happen with some characters.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure, there's... that is one thing. Like, this definitely makes you want to keep reading, further to find out what happened.
Right.
Because it does create a really good connection with all the
Right.
characters.
Yeah, he really builds like, not a world, but he builds
It's well built.
I mean, yeah, like all these characters are so fleshed out and so interesting, and like they all are woven together, and their lives affect each other. Right. So it's not like you just like one of them and like that was your favorite. It's like it's all part of the same pot that's boiling over. Oh man, it's so good, and the color is awesome.
Oh yeah, the coloring of this is amazing.
It's so vibrant and crazy.
Yeah, and like subtly super detailed. Like there's some close-ups, like here and there, where you can just really see the detail of the coloring. Mm-hmm. Like in addition to the art being super detailed too, but it's never overpowering.
Right. Yeah, it's never like hard to look at.
Yeah, it's not like Juan Jose Rip.
Right? Yeah.
Who is a fine artist.
Oh, sure.
Just, I can never tell what's happening in anything he's ever drawn.
Yeah.
Because it is just all
There's
detail.
too much going on.
And it's all like the same line weights, and it's hard to see.
Yeah, yeah, no, this is like, there's nothing that I think is subpar about this book.
Oh, absolutely not. Even the rap.
The rap is awesome.
That our giant green fella, freestyle.
Yeah, oh, it's so good. Oh, man.
Like, he's only in the book maybe like 4 pages total.
Right.
But like in those 4 pages, I was like, this is definitely one of my favorites. Like, I don't even remember his name.
You're right. Yeah, Wild King or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, something. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that's definitely another part of this book that is kind of brilliant. Is that, it's prison, so the prisoners all have their own slang.
Right.
And it is just littered throughout this book. But it's all related to monsters and stuff like that. And it's hilarious.
We were texting each other in that slang earlier today.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
I opened the show in that slang.
So yeah, Xander Cannon, I remembered him from New England Press days when he did Chainsaw Vigilante, but I don't know what he's done since then.
I'm not sure either. I don't have my phone on me to check.
I know, like in the back, he mentions that he's worked on a lot of other things,
sure.
and this is like the one that he feels like happiest doing, and
sure.
he loves it.
But it's also the one that he felt the most fear of doing.
Yeah. Right.
Did he ink and or color Top 10 with Gene Hall? Maybe. Like, I feel like that's where I remember his name from.
That sounds possible, right?
I can't be certain, so.
Yeah, maybe we'll check him out during the break, if you want.
I'm definitely interested.
Yeah. Because I feel like I've even seen him on a Marvel book in the last couple of years.
Right.
But I can't remember what it was. I just remember that name, because I think he has a brother that they used to work together and do comics together, but...
I don't know.
But yeah, he's awesome. And, like, he does this all, like, he has an assistant for the colors, but...
You need one.
Yeah, right? Yeah, but yeah, he writes and draws and colors and letters this thing, and that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got an essay in the back about how he basically never wanted to do this exact thing of write, draw, color his own, create her own work.
Right.
Just mostly out of fear, and, there's also...
And other people telling him not to.
Other people telling him not to, but I mean, it's the thing, this is a 6-issue series, how long did it take him to make this?
Right.
And devote his time to it with, little other pay, coming his way.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's not a thing to be taken lightly, but
sure.
He did it, and it's awesome.
It's great.
And
yeah.
Season 2 is currently out monthly.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the series, right?
I think so. I think 4 came out this past week.
Right.
Issue 4. Yeah. I'm assuming it's another 6-issue series.
I will definitely read the second trade.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I will too. Yeah.
And I honestly, this is something I will definitely start recommending at work. Because we've carried the series and had a copy of the trade, but I've talked to like one person that had it on their file, and they were like, "Yeah, it's really good,"
right.
But it's not like something I've even heard a lot of people talk about, and I'm gonna try to change that.
Good. Like the first time I saw the cover to the first issue, I was just like, "Well, this looks neat and could be really fun."
Right.
But I was like, "Yeah, I'll wait until the trade comes out."
Yeah.
And God, when did this trade come out? A couple months ago? 4 months ago? 5 months ago?
Maybe something like that. I don't know.
Sometime early this year.
Yeah.
Maybe. It just took me till now to read it, and mostly it was because Season 2 started up. I was like, well, I should probably read Season 1
right.
to figure out if I even want to bother with Season 2. I will be bothering.
Yes. We will bother.
Yes. Yeah, it's so fun. I was talking to your coworker Jeremy the other day about this book.
Has you read it?
He has not.
Okay.
Which honestly surprised the hell out of me.
It doesn't me really.
Yeah, I mean, he said he expressed an interest in it.
Yeah.
But I figured giant monsters. That's
right.
A lot
up his alley.
Japanese influence.
Right.
And, figured that is pretty much made exactly for him.
It's weird. I feel like our friend Jeremy, mostly he reads either really serious stuff or he reads retro stuff from when he was a kid.
Right.
And like since
so
Kaijumax,
all new Wolverine fall out of that spectrum.
Superheroes with tits.
Okay,
he likes those too. That's a third category. No, I feel like if this was maybe totally serious, he would read it, or if this was actually Godzilla,
right,
he would read it. Because I think he reads Godzilla too.
Okay. Yeah.
But I will definitely tell him. I'll second your recommendation there.
It's definitely a lot of fun, and if you like fun, then I don't see how you can go wrong with it.
Right.
Well, like we said, though, it does get super dark, but
it does, yeah. But if you have any interest at all in like monster movies and grew up loving those, seriously, this is like a nostalgia love letter to your heart.
Pretty much. And hey, if you've ever just enjoyed a season or two of Oz or Orange is the New Black,
right?
Also this might be up your alley.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Kaijumax. Good stuff.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for picking this.
Not a problem. Thank you, Xander Cannon, for making it.
Yeah, you're all right.
You do all right, guy.
Yeah. Good work.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna Google search Xander Cannon to see what else he's done.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to finding out.
Yeah. The master, the acer. Lost is the ghetto dweller trapped in the cage. There's no way out of the death trap. You can't come back, no matter what what you do when you fall in a death trap, you can't come back. No matter what you do when you fall. Time and time again, life's getting shorter. Fear in the air, what appears is the border. A nigga named Steph was shooting up meth with some coke, had a stroke, so I chill for his death. Time has arrived, falling one line, all the sin stepping in, on my face is a grin. Another dumb Vic once moved, now stiff. Grab them by the wrist, come to the abyss. Meet Katie, our abortion was known with this lady. A PhD, many degrees, had Mercedes car. She took her to a bar, got lit like a skunk, got drunk, dance, man, a pump. Boom, she took the car to the nigga's man. She didn't want to kick it, so the bitch got stabbed. Wrong place at wrong time, don't exist no more. All four, according to the grave digger law. So watch what you do for food talks back, and behold, riding on your shoulders a death trap. Yo, you can't come back. No matter what you do when you fall in a death trap, you can't come back. No matter what you do when you fall.
Yo, this crab named Black brother sell up crack, and it's the natural fact. In his pockets he had stacks. Badass beamer he drove, cause he sold his soul to get a hold of the chrome and gold. True, he felt good as he walked this hood, being hunted every night like a bear in the woods. See cosplay the role of a fox. If they catch your ass out on the block, it's back to the penalty box. But Black was the type that was like, yo, fuck the C ciphers. I got to get paid every night. Chills, but you can't forgive. See ciphers ain't the only niggas on the bill. He had like a $250,000 stash on him. When the click came through and they blasted him. So perhaps to catching man snap like that. Nigga Black, smack but you caught by the death trap.
You can't come back. No matter what you do when you fall in the death trap, you can't come back. No matter what you do when you fall, you can't come back. No matter what you do when you fall in the death trap, you can't come back. No matter what you do when you fall.
Busy had a body like a Lexus coupe. My stepfather was robbing the cradle, banging a boot. So heartbeat increased at night. She couldn't sleep. Daddy Dearest was bringing her grief between sheets. Deep scars invaded her soul, force, and mind. 6 years of torture started at age 9. At age 16, already an old maid, it seems. She was caught like Freddy in a bad dream. Meanwhile, her body is being defiled. Telling her mother only brought a stage of denial. Mom telling pops to low down, led to a showdown. For a week, shit slowed down. For one night, overcome by lust, Papa Dukes tried to score just one more thrust. He should have held back. The Rizzy got an axe, gave a dick 40 whacks and threw his ass in the depths.
You can't come back.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, podcast listeners.
What do you think about the new comic format, listeners? I mean, not that you tell us anything ever anyway, but
Never
but-
have you said anything.
but just in case, you're like a silent lover. Beautiful and seductive, yet quiet as the night.
You know, I like my lovers to make a little noise.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes a lot of noise.
right.
It means I'm doing it right.
Yeah, so tell us anything about the new format. So you looked up Mr. Xander Cannon.
I did indeed. So I was correct. He did work on Top 10. He was the layout artist, and Gene Ha did finishes.
Yeah.
And then he did the Top 10 spin-off called Smacks.
It was about the frog from the cereal.
Yep.
That.
He was a character in Top 10.
Wow.
Spinning off. Top 10, of course, was a spin-off of the cereal.
Yeah.
Alan Moore created the cereal Sugar Smacks.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
He's a wizard.
Yeah. He is. So shouldn't he have created Cookie Crisp? Can you imagine? I'm imagining now a Cookie Crisp box with Alan Moore's face with that, like, that mustache and that wizard hat. Oh my god. Is there a website where you recreate cereal boxes? Because I know what I'm doing this week.
I think you can start your own if there isn't.
Yeah. Oh man. Cookie Crisp. Alan Moore saying that.
Isn't that the cop and the robber version?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Alan Moore can do it all, though.
Oh, that's true.
He's a one-man show.
Yep.
The wizard with finger armor and cookies.
So, yeah. Well, I guess Alan Moore only has like 250 more pages of comics to write.
Until what?
Until his retirement from comics.
Really?
Yep.
Why 250?
That's probably what he said that he has left in him.
Huh.
He's going to finish out the story that he's currently working on in
Cinema Purgatorio?
Yeah.
That actually looks really good.
Oh, yeah. It's Kevin O'Neill.
Yeah. And he's doing Providence as well, I believe. Or is that done?
I have no idea. Or is that just one of those things that's based on his notes that somebody else
I
writes?
think he actually writes it.
Okay.
But I think it's one of those Avatar things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like his Neonomicon or whatever
Yeah.
that was.
Right.
Which, again, I don't think he actually wrote. Just had notes that somebody else wrote.
Right. He's like, wouldn't it be great if there was a story
Right.
about this? And they're like, yes.
No, he said, Cinema Purgatorio is he's going to finish that, and then he said, I think he has one more League of Extraordinary Gentlemen story in him, and then a couple of small things here and there. And so
Wow.
he said he's done. He's just going to focus on novels and maybe movies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And magic.
And the magic, of course.
Yeah. Well, good for him.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not giving a crap about anything he's done in years.
I'll definitely read when they collect the story that him and Kevin O'Neill are doing.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff in Cinema Purgatorio looks like awful shit.
Right.
And then some of it looks pretty good. Not just their story, but a couple of them look good, but I'm not going to pay $6 an issue for 7 pages of
Right.
the Alan Moore Kevin O'Neill thing.
Yeah.
So I'll wait until they collect it. And I might read a couple of the other ones. I can't remember what all's in there, but I remember looking through it, and there's like 2 or 3 stories I thought looked alright.
I know Garth Ennis has a story in it, and Kieran Gillen has a story, I believe, in it. And I don't know what else is
Yeah,
possible.
there's something else. I forget. Somebody else big. Warren Ellis, maybe? I don't
No,
know.
I think it's Warren Ellis. I think Warren Ellis and Grant Morrison and Alan Moore, if they were all in the same book, like I think the universe would collapse in on itself.
Right?
So,
Yeah. You know, Grant Morrison's writing a story for heavy metal that Gerhard from Cerebus is going to draw?
Uh-huh.
That's kind of crazy.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, but anyway, I think we derailed because we talked about Honey Smacks. You were talking about the different things that Xander Cannon did.
Yeah.
Did something else.
Replacement God.
Yeah.
And something called Heck. And,
It's a Don Heck's biography.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's done some stuff.
Yeah. Nothing that we've read, really.
Not really. Yeah.
So I might look into Heck.
I might look into Heck as well. Yeah. Especially as it's his more recent work, aside from Kaijumax.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not that I'm, Oh, I can already tell you that I have zero interest in anything top 10 related, because I hated the first issue when it came out 20 years ago, whenever.
But you're a different man.
I am a different man, but Alan Moore isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But Replacement God is something I might be interested in.
I can picture that, and I guess it sort of kind of looks like the artwork from here, but I would never have guessed that.
Right.
Like, that it was him. I remember that book, but
Okay.
but I know we've had him in our back issues, so yeah. So he's done some stuff.
He is. But now he's devoted his time to Kaijumax.
Good for him.
And
It's a smart
good for him
decision.
and good for us.
Yes, right.
Because that is a guaranteed buy.
I so hope that is made into an animated television show and he becomes a fucking millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would love to see that happen.
Me as well.
Like, he's great, and you can tell he loves doing this, and I hope there's some reward for that.
Right. Because honestly, yeah, I mean, I think he even says it in his essay, just like, who in the hell would ever buy, a comic that was, a prison drama with giant monsters? I mean, not, like, the premise itself does sound like, what, why? But he pulls it off so well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it could have went in so many bad directions.
Oh, absolutely.
And it never did.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else you been reading? Anything?
Nope.
No. I read the new Doom Patrol #1. DC's Young Animal line launched last week.
Yeah, that is doing my shipment probably next week. So.
I really liked it.
Oh, yeah?
Quite a bit. Yeah.
So I enjoy Doom Patrol in most of its incarnations, but obviously I think it probably counts for both of us that the Grant Morrison is probably the tops in that.
Yeah, it is.
So how does it compare?
Well, it's funny that you should say that because I'm actually, for the first time in the last, 25 years, I'm rereading Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol.
And I believe, I think we kind of talked about that last week, and
Yeah.
I believe I'll reiterate, there was a good 10 years you did not have Doom
No,
Patrol.
no, I loaned them to my friend Joe G, and he had mentioned that it sometimes takes him a while to read books and that, maybe you shouldn't borrow them. And so I said, well, bring them back 10 years from today. And, and it wasn't just a ha ha ha. I mean, we had everyone in the room sign this document saying,
Contract, yep.
yeah, he had to bring them back exactly 10 years from then. And he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
To the day.
And he read them even.
Yes, he did. A month before.
Yeah, this first 9 years, he just, he was right. He doesn't get around to them sometimes. So he needed the 10 years. But I wonder if I would have said, you have 1 year, if 11 months in, he would have read them. You know what I mean?
Probably. Yeah, I'm sure.
But anyway, yeah, I got them back and I've been rereading them. I'm 6 or 8 issues in and it holds up surprisingly well. I was really worried that, 13-year-old me is different enough that I would be well, this is cool, but no, I really like them. And, it's hard to compare with just one issue, but I will say, the Gerard Way
Yes.
issue, kicks off balls deep crazy. And even the Grant Morrison series, there was, the crawling. Yeah, because there was the crawling from the wreckage where you had to kind of
reset.
Right. And it wasn't that crazy right from the start, but it got crazy. But this one is fucking crazy in a good way, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
That's awesome. So my big thing is, that I'm worried about is the fact that Gerard Way wishes so much that he was Grant Morrison.
Right.
And that, I'm afraid, it would just not compare at all. And I've enjoyed his comics, the 2 Umbrella Academy series are great.
Yeah.
Killjoys was good.
I never read Killjoys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was enjoyable. I mean, I may pick it for the show.
The Fabulous Lives, or True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys.
Fabulous, or something.
Yeah.
The Fabulous Killjoys.
Something.
Yeah. The Joy Buzzards. But, he definitely wishes he was Grant Morrison in so many ways. And so
Well, don't you? I mean,
obviously.
you have his haircut.
I do, yes. Not much else. But, just when somebody, obviously, worships, another major talent.
Right.
Just sort of is this going to be, awesome, or is this going to be crap,
Right.
And especially working on, a book that, I would say arguably, helped make Grant Morrison into Grant Morrison.
It's the first time I ever heard of Grant Morrison.
Right.
But so far, it's only 20 pages into however long the run is, but it doesn't feel like a Grant Morrison ripoff or worship. It just feels it feels like, he was I was inspired by this Doom Patrol thing and I want to do my Doom Patrol thing.
Right.
That's what it feels like so far.
Yeah.
But it is weird.
Sure.
It definitely is a weird Doom Patrol.
Right.
So, that, when you say weird Doom Patrol, you're oh, Grant Morrison.
Right, yeah.
But, I think it's different enough.
That's good. Because like I said, I've enjoyed the Doom Patrol in its various incarnations.
Oh,
there, but I think the one thing that the other ones have all done is not be Grant Morrison.
Right? Yeah.
And they're just okay, we can't do that. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I've liked 3 other series of Doom Patrol other than the Morrison. So, yeah, they're good.
Looking forward to reading that at some point. Also, my big fear with anything Gerard Way does is that, remembering that Gerard Way is also the lead singer of My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
And that is shitty. And will that shittiness bleed over into comics?
Well, I mean,
so far it hasn't.
right.
But there's always the possibility.
Well, I mean, it's just like Mike Mignola was in Nelson, that's the rock band from the 80s.
Right?
That song, I Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that was him and Dave Johnson,
Right.
with those blonde wigs, and they turned out to be really good comic artists.
Well, yeah, but that song is awesome.
Yeah, that song is awesome. You're right. That is better than anything Chemical Romance ever did. I'm not lying. I actually kind of have an affinity for, what was that other song? After the Rain? The Nelson. Yeah, the Nelson. They had that terrible video with like the Native American and the child that wanders out of his bedroom, and Nelson's out there in the rain, and so is this Native American guy, and it was just like trying to say something, but no one knew what it was.
Yeah.
It was, but like, I love that era of rock and roll, the terrible cheesy hair metal. Fucking love it. I was driving around today listening to Def Leppard and Tesla. Like, I just can't help it.
Teach their
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it's fine.
Oh, yes.
Like, I would never go out of my way to listen to any of that stuff.
Right.
But also, if it's on the radio, I'm not going to immediately turn it on.
Unless it's like the power ballad.
Yeah. Yeah, power ballad.
Oh, man, some of those are terrible. Except for Every Rose Has Its Thorn. That's a great song.
Yeah.
I can see by the sound that it's time to play our trivia game. Which character most represents Jet Jaguar from Kaijumax?
So anyway, we're talking about some stuff.
Nelson's awesome.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Dave Johnson.
Oh yeah.
And that is a guy who I had the chance to meet between episodes.
Nice.
Yeah. Last week was the Cincinnati Comic-Con.
Did you have him sign your single of After the Rain?
I don't have it anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, I switched to all MP3s.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I don't really have physical music anymore.
That's too bad.
Except for, like, one or two, vinyl that I couldn't sell anywhere.
Right.
And Mike Allred's The Gear
Oh, wow,
on
yeah.
CD, which I will refuse to sell.
Right.
Mostly because I don't think I get anything for it,
Right.
but also because, it's one of those oddities
Oh,
that
yeah.
you like to just keep around.
It's neat on a shelf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, Cincinnati Comic Con was last week, and I went with Joe G. Although it is called Cincinnati Comic Con, that is not what I like to call it. I like to call it the Northern Kentucky Spite Con. Because it does not take place in Cincinnati, not even in Ohio.
All right.
It takes place in Covington, Kentucky.
That's weird. That's weird.
At the Northern Kentucky Convention Center in Kentucky. Admittedly, it is 5 minutes away from Cincinnati,
Right.
but come the fuck on.
Right. I mean, people recognize Cincinnati.
Yeah,
And,
that's
they're
true.
like, I'll drive to Cincinnati. I won't drive to Kentucky.
But yeah, it's the con that Tony Moore organized out of spite to the Cincinnati Comic Expo, which is next weekend.
Which you're also going
I
to.
will also be going to that as well, and possibly even you.
Possibly even me, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like big comic shows usually.
Yeah.
So, but I might go to that.
There's some reasons you might want to go to that.
Fucking Rob Liefeld.
Right?
What else do you need?
How about Kevin Nolan?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome too.
Stan Lee and his final Midwest appearance ever.
Yep.
Because he's going to die.
Rob Liefeld's going to choke him out at the end of the show.
That, oh man, I would pay to see that.
It's very symbolic of the passing of the torch sort of thing.
Kind of. I mean, they both hold the same amount of respect in my mind that the other does. So.
Which is not a lot.
Yep.
Right. I have a kind of a love-hate with both of them, honestly, but I mean, I genuinely enjoy the work of Liefeld, and I want to have him sign something that I'm going to keep, and like, it's not like as a joke, it's like, hey, I like this, and I'll keep it. But it also is kind of like, I think I understand something about his work that maybe even he doesn't,
Oh, he has no idea.
Right.
Yeah. He has zero clue. Yeah. We'll hopefully both be going to that, and hopefully we can talk about that in the next episode.
But you did meet Dave Johnson.
But I did meet Dave Johnson.
Yeah.
Got him to sign a couple comics for me. Because it was him, Brian Azzarello, and Eduardo Rizzo, all in the same sort of space of tables there. So it's the 100 Bullets team.
Yeah.
And so I brought a bunch of stuff for all of them to sign. And Dave Johnson showed up first. They were all late. Dave Johnson got there first. And but our friend Joe G was far more excited than I was to meet Dave Johnson, because Joe G wanted a Flash sketch.
Nice.
He was trying to get there, in time enough to make it onto his commissions list for the weekend, or for Saturday, actually, since we were only going to be there the one day. We did, just in the nick of time. He was last on the list, and charged Joe a pretty good price, and 7 hours later we had a sketch.
Yeah, right. It looks cool too.
It does look cool, yeah. But no, it took a while to get there, but I think we both knew that was going to happen.
Right.
But yeah, it was just, they have a lot of big artists at that show, big names, and, so it's always good to at least, go for the autograph collecting.
Sure, yeah.
And see what kind of neat art people have.
Oh yeah, I love looking at portfolios of artwork, and I love going to panels. Those are like my two favorite things about shows.
I'm not a big panel guy.
I love it.
Because at one point we were kind of just waiting around to, basically just waiting on Dave Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And right at that point in time, he was in a panel. It was the 100 Bullets guys talking about 100 Bullets. And Joe was like, do you want to just go to that? And I was like, yeah, I've read it.
Right. I see. I swear for the long. I mean, but it's probably not the same thing because you've been to some panels. But I remember, like, the longest time I just never went to any panels. I was like, why would I? I'd rather just look at comics. But the first time I did, I was like, well, that was really fun. And then, like, I swear every time I've seen a panel since then, even if it's artists, like I've been to some panels where I've never heard of any of the artists there.
Right.
And I always love the panels. Like, I don't know, there's something about it. Just seeing them talk about their work, and I fucking love it. Like, that's one of my favorite parts of the show.
I guess that's interesting, but then, like you and I always talk about art and comics and creation, so it's just like, I have my own little panel every week.
Yeah,
and
right?
Someone that I actually, like and can get along with.
Aw.
Who has a dog that is, stepping on my balls.
Right. Not right now.
Not right now, but
it does
usually
happen.
when we talk.
Right. Yeah. It happened last night.
Yes, it did. I don't know. I should probably be more open-minded about panels. I'm sure I would probably find them more enjoyable.
I mean, we've been to some together, right?
Well,
Some,
yeah,
like
I
in Chicago?
remember one distinct one that we went to. It was like about learning how to color comics.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just basically watching a guy on an overhead projector show how he colors, and I was just like, I knew this.
Oh, see, that might be kind of boring then if it's if it's just a process thing, but sometimes it's just people talking about their work, and I love it. Seeing little slideshows and just seeing their passion for what they're doing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I went to a panel once also that was just basically Marvel saying, hey, these are books we have coming out.
Yeah, I would probably skip that one. Unless for some reason they had Chip Zdarsky or Erica Henderson or somebody doing that.
Yeah.
Somebody fun. Yeah.
I got to meet Erica Henderson.
Oh, nice. She was there too?
She was there. She was lovely. And signed some Squirrel Girls for me.
Nice.
Issue 1 and issue 4 of the first Squirrel Girl series.
That's pretty cool.
I like getting issue 1 signed because it's like, hey, this is the thing,
Right.
And then, like, issue 4 was just like, well, this was my favorite issue from that.
Right.
It's the Galactus issue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then Joji also got a sketch from her.
Nice. A Flash.
Of course.
For the listener.
Yes. But
I was playing them.
Some cool people were there. Like I said, Brian Azzarello was probably my big draw. The one that I was like most excited about. And then found that he was charging per signature. Which, and it was for charity. It was for the Hero Initiative, which I can get behind.
Right, yeah. You have got behind them before.
Absolutely, I have donated to them before. But I'm broke pretty much all the time now. So like $10 to just get a signature per book.
Per book.
And I brought like 9 things for him to sign.
That's upwards of $90.
Yeah, and I didn't even want to spend the 10 to get 1 book signed. So like we left the line, and then Joe convinced me, before we completely blew it off, to at least get 100 Bullets #1 signed.
Right. Since you got the other two
I
creators,
got Arizona and Johnson to sign that one.
So that's cool.
Yeah. And at that point, like, I don't know what my mindset was, but like, I mean, I have a hard time talking to people anyway, as is. So like, I really didn't have anything to say to Azzarello at that point.
Right. Like, your name's hard to spell.
Yeah. It's not really. But
I can't spell it.
Azzarello.
You're a god among men.
Yeah. I may have thrown in an extra L.
Ah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But like, if he had not been charging, or if it would have been like just a flat rate for like however many books,
Right.
Like I maybe would have done that, because I had Alpha King, 3 Floyds #1 that I wanted him to sign, because I wanted to tell him that it was easily the dumbest comic that I ever read in my entire life, and I loved it.
You could have still told him that.
I could have, but it's better when like he's actually signing that.
Right.
But I figured 100 Bullets, probably the one that I should probably get signed by, to have all 3 names on it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah. And some other people. Chris Sprouse was there, and actually had a conversation with him a little bit about art and his work process and then how he does things. Mostly because I was looking at his original art and was just shocked at how clean and crisp everything is. Like there are no mistakes on his pages whatsoever.
He's great. Yeah, he's very good. I love his Tom Strong stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then talked to Nick Bradshaw for a little while, who also is incredibly good. More so now that I've seen his original work. I've always seen his comics and been like, hey, it's that guy that draws a lot like Art Adams. It's Art Adams on a monthly.
Right.
Yeah. What more could you ask for, right? Other than Art Adams on a monthly.
Well, that'd be great.
Right.
That's never gonna happen.
No, not at all. But like, talking to him, he's like a super nice guy, and then looking at his original art, I can actually see other influences besides Art Adams in there. And just a jovial guy, and then talked a little bit with him about his process, because he does things a little weird here and there that I've never seen before, like in looking at other artists' portfolios.
Oh, yeah.
Like he draws his double-page spreads on the same sheet that like he draws normal pages on, just landscape instead of portrait.
Okay.
Basically, it's
Smaller.
It's smaller, but it's basically at size of the original comic art, or
The printed
comic.
Yeah.
But his stuff was super expensive.
I bet.
Yeah. I was flipping through his portfolio, and I came across one of his covers for Spidey, the teen Spider-Man series that he was drawing for a while.
Right.
I think he may even still do the covers for.
Yeah, some of them, I think.
Yeah. But I came across one of the covers of like Spider-Man basically drowning in like Sandman mud.
Right.
Which is also a horrible sex move. But I flipped to that page, and I said out loud, Jesus Christ, as soon as I saw it, for two reasons. One, because it was amazing to look at, and two, it was $1,800.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. He's great, but I wouldn't spend $1,800 on a piece of artwork, though.
No. Yeah.
But he's great.
I mean, you and I got to see original Mike Mignola artwork not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I think...
That was less expensive even, probably.
Right, yeah. But even then, I think we would still maybe have some trouble justifying...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. The only person that, if I actually had the money, and I saw, like, a Jack Kirby page that was, like $3,000,
right.
and I had $3,000 that I wasn't, like, needed to spend on bills, I would buy it. Because that's a solid investment.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just like something I would own, but
not
like,
only that, but it's a piece of history.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, it's not like, I don't know, you're buying something that you're going to use up. It's like, you can sell that later.
Yeah.
And get your money back.
If you need to.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't need to.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I would love to collect original art, but it's fucking crazy.
We've got a big pile of original art right over there.
Yeah, hey, I'm willing to sell any of that to anybody.
Yeah.
I've got a Bambi Branchfield original.
Oh.
I'm willing to let go for no less than $20.
And all the Eric Schonborn original art. That's what I was referring to.
Oh, yeah, that, I can get rid of that for about $5.
Yeah.
Yeah, comic convention.
So, are you gonna, do you think Joji's gonna get a Stan Lee Flash sketch next time?
I doubt it.
No, probably.
Yeah.
Didn't he create Flash?
He did.
Yeah.
Him and Rob Liefeld and a janitor.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All created the Flash together. And Bob Kane.
Right. Oh, you can't forget about that.
No, I mean, yeah, Joe and I are gonna go on Saturday. And I'm assuming he's gonna be looking for sketches again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Maybe Kevin Nolan is gonna be one of his targets for that.
He's so great.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that he will not be anywhere near the area of either Stanley or Rob Liefeld. I'm sure he would probably rather ask Billy D. Williams for a Flash sketch first.
I bet that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Brian Azzarello at this show was charging $10 per autograph per book, but also on his sign he was also charging $30 for bad Batman sketches. And he had an example of one on his poster.
And it was bad.
It was terrible.
Oh.
And, it's one of those things, if I had the disposable money, I absolutely would have gotten a terrible Batman sketch.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going down to that show, because it's been a long time since I've been to a comic show that I wasn't either working for the shop I work at or trying to sell my own comics.
Right.
So it'll be nice just to be able to walk around and like not have to be anywhere at a certain time.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
I'll be there Saturday, and I'll be there Sunday as well.
Cool.
Because my friend Bruce has a table there, and he needs a table buddy on Sunday.
Nice.
And I've been his substitute table buddy for the last year or so.
Yeah.
And, it's always nice. I like going to conventions better when I have a home base to go to.
Right.
Like even if I'm not showing, if I just know a guy that's there who will let me sit behind his table for a while.
Right.
Like,
so you can escape the crowd.
yeah, exactly. It's a lot more relaxing.
Right.
And, I don't get the anxiety build up. And I think that was one of the big problems, at this one last week, was there was no home base. So it was just basically me and Joe, like, fighting through crowds for 7 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's the one thing when, like, I don't have a home base to go to, then, like, I'm just watching Joe flip through long boxes, and I'm just like, well, I am in the way of everybody. And hopefully nobody is, like, pickpocketing my bag and stuff.
Just use the panel room as your home base.
Yeah. We went to the concession area at one point. So.
Yeah. That works too.
Yeah, we left the convention for a while to go have lunch, and I ate the best burger that I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Really?
Yep. It was amazing.
Where was that?
It was called The Gruff.
Hmm.
It was like 2 blocks from the convention center in Kentucky.
Right. You almost said Cincinnati.
Yeah. Actually, I almost said Covington. But, yeah. No, yeah, it was just this little like restaurant, kind of hipsterish a little bit, but like weird frou-frou ingredients on stuff. But man, that burger was delicious.
Right?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and had homemade ketchup for the fries.
Huh.
Waffle fries.
Wow, I like waffle fries.
Yeah. Waffle and crinkle cut.
I like the little
Can't pass them up.
shoestring fries too.
I don't like shoestring.
Steak fries? I like steak fries too.
They're okay. Yeah.
Anything that's not normal fries. I like all 4 weird fries.
Yeah. I do prefer all of those over a normal fry.
Right. Yeah.
But I will never pass up a crinkle cut or a waffle fry. If the option is available.
Right. Yeah. And you're getting fried potatoes.
Well, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I even like just fried potatoes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those are good too.
Hash browns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Home fries. That's another type of fry.
Home fries?
Home
Oh yeah.
fries.
I love them. Yeah.
Man, I am starving.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the grocery after I leave here, so I'm kind of hungry, so I might end up buying way too many groceries. Well,
I should I'll let you go get some groceries then.
Well, before I do,
Yeah.
I should suggest a piece of reading material
You should.
for us boys.
Yeah.
And ladies out there. All the
Sure.
ladies out there listening.
All the ladies. Hello, I am single.
And the book I was going to pick is something I've never read.
Okay.
So, who knows?
Right?
But it's called Merrick, the Sensational Elephant Man by 2 dudes whose names I can't remember. They're British.
Okay.
I've never heard of either of them.
I have heard of that series, oddly enough.
Yeah?
Yeah. But don't know much about it. So.
Mhm.
All right. I like the Elephant Man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Right? So, it's kind of a weird revelation that I had over the week. Is that growing up, probably the 2 movies that I watched the most on HBO were David Lynch's Elephant Man and the 1980 Flash Gordon movie.
Wow.
So that is the shape of my brain.
Yeah, that's cool. Those are both great. Those are both great movies.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Yeah.
Is it a mini? Is it a graphic novel?
What I have in my reach is a graphic novel
Okay.
that was loaned to me. It may collect single issues, I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a little graphic novel.
All right. Well, it's called Merrick.
The Sensational Elephant Man.
Okie doke. So look that up, and I will as well to find out the names of the people that made
Yeah.
that.
I think Todd was one of them, and maybe Luke
Carlin?
was the other. No. No.
All right. Yeah. I'm not going to veto a thing I've never heard
Sweet.
of or read, so.
All right.
All right.
Excited.
Cool.
Elephant Man.
Elephant Mans.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
Goodbye.
yeah, we'll see you next time. Whenever that is.
I hope.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.